everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a review on the Yankee Candle 18-ounce 3-wick candle in the scent Blood Orange Pumpkin, which is a new scent or fragrance that came out during the Halloween 2023 collection. So the retail price of this candle is $26.50 with a burn time of anywhere from 35 to 50 hours. To make a note, this is a paraffin soy wax blend. And the color of the wax is a very pretty, if you think of like Crayola crayons, this would probably be red-orange. Okay, so to go into the fragrance notes, top notes list blood orange, sparkling ginger, orange zest. Mid notes are clove bud, pumpkin puree, fresh nutmeg. Base notes list buttercream, vanilla, cinnamon bark. And the description on the website says, create a chilling vibe for Halloween with zesty notes of sparkling ginger, blood orange, and pumpkin. I'm not sure about the sparkling ginger, but there is ginger in here. But when I first saw the scent notes, I don't have a Yankee Candle nearby, so this was a blind buy purchase. But when I saw the notes and I, read the name, I thought this would predominantly smell like either mostly orange, which is a little bit weird to have a fruity, scent for Halloween, or mainly pumpkin. And what I got, I think I got a typical spicy fall candle. All right, so to go on to the orange, which I think is what everyone is interested in, is the orange I get is essential orange oil. So it's not really like an orange juice per se. I get very minimal orange note, which I kind of wanted more. There is a slight tang or tartness to the pumpkin, which I think is that orange oil or the orange zest. I was excited to get more of a borderline, like a sour blood orange juice, but that's not really what this is. That is to say, I can smell the orange, but I wanted a little bit more of it. Okay, and on cold, this gives me a little bit of a spicy orange. I do want to make a note that the pumpkin in this is a true raw pumpkin note. So it's not a cooked pumpkin. It's not like a decaying pumpkin. It's just a fresh, maybe like if the pumpkin ripped in half, that's the scent note that I'm getting. So I think that the scent that this reminds me the most of are those dried like potpourris that you can sometimes find in like craft stores, department stores that have like the orange slices in there and you're warming them up, and that especially is the case when you light up the candle. I don't get much of the vanilla or buttercream that are listed at the base notes. I wouldn't say that there's really any much added sweetness to this. So I wanted to get my sister's opinion. Just to give a note, she loves fall scents, anything like pumpkin she's into. Pumpkin spice lattes, those are her things. Yeah, so anything seasonal, autumn fragrances, that's her go-to. And the scent note that she mainly picked up on was the pumpkin note. Whereas I, unlike her, don't really like anything like pumpkin too much or any type of like spices. And when I smelled this candle, I mainly picked up almost initially on the cinnamon, then the clove and the nutmeg mix. So if you are someone who doesn't like a candle with too many spices, this candle might be for you, because while it does smell like a fall spice pumpkin candle, it's not overpowering where you think, oh, red hot tamales, or like I'm going to start coughing when I get a whiff of this. It's definitely not that. So that's to keep in mind. I did initially think of red hot tamales, but this cinnamon note in here isn't as like strong, pungent, overly sweet in your face. This is more like subdued, and I think that might be because it's cinnamon bark and not just like ground cinnamon. Again, I do want to make a note that a lot of the reviews on the Yankee Candle website say incentivized review. So I'm not sure what that means, and it's pretty funny if you go on the website, someone says, how do you get candles for free to review? And I think someone like a customer service agent responded, hey, Yankee Candle doesn't do that. But then when I read, I think like 1 or 2 reviews, which mainly just said this candle smells good, and that was about it. It said like, hey, I received this candle in exchange for my honest opinion or something. So that's just another thing to make a note. But to go back to how this smells like, I think this smells exactly like fall. Halloween, I feel like people might be more into abstract smells like maybe dirt, smoke, vampires, snakes, and stuff like that. But this is like quintessential fall scent, even though that there is an orange note in here. I feel like sometimes the scent that this gives me, besides the potpourri with the little orange slices or the dried orange slices, is maybe even like a pumpkin sitting besides a pot where you're simmering maybe some like orange juice or like this orange oil concoction mixed in with the like clove bud pieces, and you add a little bit of like the cinnamon sticks. Okay, so to talk about the burn, I feel like this is pretty good. It does pull out a little bit faster than the banana toffee. I would say within the 1 hour mark, I have an even wax pull. So I haven't noticed any noticeable soot coming from the candle. Right now I actually need to blow it out because it's going on its 3rd hour and the flames are pretty tall. So I do trim the wicks. The flame tends to get a little bit larger depending on how much you take off. So make a note of that. And I do want to say that there is no fallout, and this candle, at least this particular Yankee candle, doesn't have the tendency to make those mushroom tops. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like to clip those off, this one didn't really give me that issue. So that's another good thing. And then I do want to say, while burning, I get more of the medley of spices. So the cinnamon bark really comes out, and then I feel like the ginger that was more in the background comes out, and then to the lesser extent, the clove. But yeah, I pick up more on the spices when it's burning versus the pumpkin. So to me, this does smell a little bit like a craft store, but it smells like an elevated craft store, because I feel like sometimes when you walk into, like, let's say Hobby Lobby or Michael's, you get a mixture of like what you know is fall, but there's a bunch of like extra stuff like wood shavings and just kind of eh. So I feel like the scent, it's been, been there, done that. It's a nice little twist though. So I feel like if you enjoy fall scents, you would appreciate the orange note that is added in here, or the orange notes that are added. I personally don't think it's different or special enough for me to purchase it again. To once again talk about the performance, there is no tunneling, it pulls out within an hour, no noticeable sitting. Do be careful of drafts. The other problem that I have with this candle, I think I've said this before in other reviews, but I enjoy very strong candles, like we're talking 8, 9, or 10. And the strength and throw of this candle is a little bit lackluster in my opinion. I don't know if maybe just candles from Yankee Candle are light to begin with. So the strength in my medium-sized bedroom, I would give the strength about, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10, which is kind of odd because I don't know how you can make a fall pumpkin spice scent weak. I feel like just that it has those, the nutmeg, the clove, the cinnamon, I feel like that should automatically be like an easy 8 out of 10. But somehow this candle does it. Yeah, so I'm not sure if people will enjoy a 5 out of 10. I know some people do. This is very much like, I can notice it, but it's like in the background. So it's stronger than the banana toffee, but it's definitely not like, oh yeah, I want that Yankee Candle and it's a 5 out of 10. Definitely not. However, I would give the throw pretty good. I would give it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. And what I mean by that is that the scent does tend to travel. Granted, it's a little bit light, but that depends on people's scent preference and like strength preference. And to quickly compare this to other Bath & Body Works candles, because I don't have a lot of Yankees and or Hallmark's fall scents. So when I asked my sister, hey, what does this candle remind you of? She told me that it reminded her of this pumpkin carving candle from Bath & Body Works. And let me show you, ooh, does it even have the scent notes? Yes, it does. So this does smell like it because it has that fresh pumpkin note. So it's freshly carved pumpkin, spiced pumpkin seed, smooth brown sugar. So this one, pumpkin carving, is definitely a lot sweeter, but I do get what she's talking about where she says that it has like spiced pumpkin, and the pumpkin isn't like cooked or anything. The brown sugar is throwing me off a little bit, so pumpkin carving is definitely a lot sweeter than this blood orange pumpkin, whereas pumpkin carving has more of that, of course, sugar sweetness note. Blood orange pumpkin doesn't really have the sweetness that is present in the vanilla or the buttercream, but it does have that like smoothness that or what you would picture buttercream being, like the texture wise. And to me, when I initially smelled it, this might be a little bit weird because there is no apple note, but the first thing that I thought of was pumpkin apple. And the reason why is mainly because of the spices in here. Yeah, it's definitely the cinnamon and the clove in here. Let me see if there are scent notes. Yes, there are. So pumpkin apple has red delicious apple, fall pumpkin, fresh ground cinnamon, clove buds. So it might be a little bit hard to separate the apple from the pumpkin apple because that's pretty much like 80% of the fragrance. But the spices in here are very similar. So if you could separate the apple, I do think the mixture less the nutmeg smells a lot like blood orange pumpkin. So yeah, that is my review on the new Halloween 2023 fragrance from Yankee Candle called Blood Orange Pumpkin. Do I feel like this is a nice scent? Yes. Is it the strongest? No. Does this reinvent the wheel? No. But I think it's an overall good scent if you enjoy buying candles from Yankee Candle. Let me just show you how the wax pool looks like and a little bit of the packaging. So right here, if I move it over, I really love this like faux luminary that you see right here. If you saw Banana Toffee, my other review, I really love how you can interchange the little cutesy packaging. Again, it reminds me a lot of like the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe something you would find in a Halloween McDonald's Happy Meal. It's very much on theme. I don't know if people like the cutesy Halloween theme, but that is one of my favorites. I like that, or like kind of creepy, disgusting type of Halloween. But everyone has their preference. I think this would make a great decor piece if you're into buying candles for decor. But let me go ahead and like hurry up and move this. Okay, I'm gonna switch the angle just ever so slightly. And here is an overhead angle of how my wicks look like, nicely spaced out. And I think my flame is actually getting a little bit high and tall, so I definitely need to trim it when I'm done filming this video. But yeah, the color might be a little bit different, but in person it definitely looks a lot more orange versus on camera or in the video it looks a little bit more red. But yeah, if you can see past the melted wax pool, there are no black bits in it. I think by this point, if this was a Bath & Body Works candle, you would definitely see a lot of fallout. Heck, even if this was a Homeworks candle. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.